Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight's special call. I invited you guys to join because we had a very special guest reach out to me and offer such an exclusive training to you guys. And I'm super pumped about this. You guys know how much into positive mindset and words of affirmation and all that jazz that I am. And so when he reached out to me, I was super stoked. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to apologize because y'all know my 10-year-old peanut gallery over here. Kind of jabberjaws. But I was super stoked when Brad reached out to me and offered us this opportunity to get this special training from him. So with that said, let me introduce Brad. So Brad is a mindset coach. He's an inspirational speaker, host of the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast. Go subscribe, y'all. Creator of the Mindset Course Appreciation Academy. And last but certainly not least, he's a husband and a dog daddy. So with that said, first off, I have to know, Brad. Oh, let me unmute you. What kind of dog you got?
He is a miniature cockapoo.
Oh my gosh, how cute. What's his name?
His name's Oliver. Ollie for short, fluff butt, all that. Yeah.
Fluff butt, yeah. You got to have the pet names for the pets. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Brad, this is the team of Misfit Republic. Welcome.
What's up, guys? Am I good to go? Start up?
You're good to go.
All right, everyone. What's going on? Happy Thursday. Thank you for the opportunity of being here and speaking for you guys tonight. I am so freaking pumped. I do not take this opportunity lightly. And my goal tonight is just to bring you above and beyond value. Just to help you master this, master your mindset, get rid of all that negative self-talk that gets in the way of you becoming the person that deep down you're meant to be. And so before we get rock and rolling, before I share the story and all that, just make sure you're fully present here. Like, take out your notebook and take notes on this. Make sure there's no distractions. TV's turned off. I know you're Seahawks fans. TV is turned off. You're fully present. Put the kids in the closet. Whatever you got to do. Just be here. I promise it'll be worth it. So let's start with some participation. Type in the chat box, what is a really big goal you have for 2019? What's a really big goal you have for 2019? And as you're typing this in, there's a really cool thing about this goal. There's a way to do it. There's a way to make it happen. There is a recipe to making these things happen. And like, you know your basic business building behaviors. That's your recipe, right? That's what it is. And you already know that, but something you might miss is the way you go about using your ingredients in that recipe matters. So what does that mean? That means you can invite 1 billion people to your challenge groups, but if your mindset's off, you're gonna repel them. You could have the best training for your team in the world, but if your mindset's off, they're not gonna do anything. In fact, how many of you guys have ever said, why isn't my team growing? Have you ever said that to yourself, right? Like, I'm sure we all have at some point, right? Like, so you put hours and hours and hours into a support group, but if your mindset's off, your challengers will feel like they're just being used. And so my point is that what goes on in your mind, your mindset, your self-talk is by far and above the most important piece of your business and life coming to the place where you actually want it to get to. And you've heard that before. Like, type yes if you've heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life. Have you guys heard that before? Right? But what does that mean? What does it mean to change your thinking, change your life? Like, how do you even do that? Because it's so vague, right? Like, how do we do that? I'm going to share with you tonight how to do that, especially when you're in a place when you don't want to. Like, have you ever noticed when you're pissed off, you kind of want to stay pissed off? Or like if you're in a down state and you, like, let's say miss Success Club or drop in rank or whatever it is, and you get down or feel bad about it, if someone tries to make you feel better, you're kind of like, dude, go away. I kind of want to be sad right now, you know? So how do you bounce back? How do you bounce back so where it doesn't take you a week, it takes you 3 minutes? Could you imagine what would happen in life if this stuff just rolled off you? And it wasn't something that affected you and your worth wasn't attached to achievement, but rather your character is what caused your achievement. And it just made things so much easier for you in your business and your life. So let's figure out first, where does negative self-talk come from? Where do limiting beliefs come from? I'm going to share with you a couple stories about where I believe my 2 biggest ones came from. And I'll share with you how I turned it around into an amazing tool for success and for happiness through 3 tips that you're going to have tonight. And at the end of the call, I'll give you guys an opportunity to work with me on a deeper level if you'd like. So limiting beliefs come from our past, things we've gone through, challenges we've gone through. It could be a trauma. It could be a failure. It could be something that was repeated to you consistently growing up. But either way, it comes from reference points of our past. So growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood. And it gave me really messed up beliefs about how life is. And I'm curious, type yes in the chat box if you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, past or present. Can you relate to the topic of money stress? That was a huge challenge in my life. One of the biggest limiting pieces of my life growing up until I learned how to reverse this. Money was the cause of my parents getting divorced. I had $92,000 of student loans. My $40,000 was stolen from me from an account my grandmother saved up for me to go to school. And my parents would scream and fight about and yell about money every single day. And that is not hyperbole for this call. It was every day. Some screaming match, some form of, why'd you spend money on that? We can't afford that. And like swear words and just mean names being called. And I remember one time I was like 10. And I go up to my mom, they're having a fight about why the bank account's overdrawn again. And I go up to mom and I'm like, Mommy, why do you guys got to fight about stupid money? You know, in that moment, she's cussing at me, swearing at me, saying all these mean things about how I'm just a stupid punk kid, go away, all this stuff. And my dad comes over with a soap dispenser and he starts pouring soap all over mom, on her head, on her neck, on her back, trying to shove it into her mouth. And like, it was one of the closest things I ever saw to like a physical altercation between them. And I just remember thinking in that moment, whoa, money must have caused this. Is it because of money that their relationship is falling apart? And I remember from that point forward, pairing with my dad working like 90 hours a week to barely get by, too much month at the end of the money, I believe that money was A, incredibly hard to make, and B, it ruined your life. So you can imagine when I wanted to create financial freedom, I also had the limiting belief of money is bad. You see how that might hold me back. Like you believe money equals freedom, but money also equals pain. There's conflicting beliefs there that I needed to break through. And on top of that, I thought it would ruin my relationship if I had money. And on top of the money, I had a really tough relationship with my mom, right? So, and I love my mom. I've forgiven her for the pain of my past, all that stuff. That's a whole other topic that I'll talk about in detail in my program if you decide to join me. But my point of bringing this up is that I never knew who I had to be to feel worthy of mom's love growing up. I never knew who I had to be. I never knew if she wanted me to shut the hell up and go away. I never knew if she wanted me to be playful and fun. I never knew what I needed. Do you guys have that person in your life where something's always bothering them and you don't know, it's like you can never win no matter what you do? That's what it was for me. And I remember growing up just feeling like I was never enough for her. And I craved her love and I felt like I could never get it. And so it changed how I led my life. I would always crave validation. I always needed permission to go after big dreams. And I would change who I was just to be liked. And so you can imagine when I started my business 7 years ago now, I wanted the big dreams. I wanted all these things to happen, but I'm not enough. Do you see how that might hold me back in some way? Like you want to sprint 100 miles an hour in one direction with chains around your ankles. How many of you have something big in your life that you want to go after, but you just don't feel like you're enough to hit that goal or to achieve those things? That's what we're going to break through tonight, if that's okay with you. It's so important that we do, because if you don't, you're stuck. It's not a fun place to live, because you might have a totally different story, by the way, guys. You might not be able to relate to that. That's okay. But where did your limiting belief or beliefs come from? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that happened years ago that you haven't forgiven or changed the meaning of yet? Because when you go through pain, whether trauma, whether failure, whether emotional pain, whatever it is, you're impressionable. It's in those times that your belief about yourself start to take shape. So when I started my business 7 years ago, it didn't matter how many people I invited or how many trainings I created. I just felt stuck. If I could sum up how I felt into a sentence, it was, I knew I was meant for so much more than what I was getting in my life, but I was stuck, spinning my wheels, self-sabotaging, not knowing how to break through it. Even though I wanted my life to change, I just didn't care, but I cared so much. Type yes if that's you in some way, shape, or form, whether business or life. And I had to figure out how to fix it. So I went on this journey of changing my entire life. I went on this journey of changing these limiting beliefs, getting over the negative self-talk, getting into figuring out who I truly was authentically. And I went on a journey of becoming the person that deep down I was meant to be. It led me to the creation of my program that I'll offer you at the end of this call. That's how I changed my life, by the way. But the reason I tell you this is because when I tried to build a business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk and the lack of belief and the secret obstacles that I didn't even realize were going on stopped me in my tracks. And we can't go over the whole system of how to break through that in 1 hour. That's what the program's for. But if you take this really seriously and take really good notes and apply this, don't just listen and get inspired, apply this, not just tonight, but tomorrow, the next day, every day, you're going to learn 3 of the major steps that completely changed my life. So number 1, write this in your notes. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. What does that mean? Well, the first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that before, right? Change your thinking, change your life. But I'm talking about actually rewiring your default setting. Like rewiring the way you naturally respond to challenge and naturally respond to anything in your life. So let's backtrack a little bit. Have you ever noticed that you start to tell yourself stories? Like, have you ever been in the shower and there's like a pinball machine of thoughts going on in your head when you're in the shower, or like when you're walking the dog or whatever it is, and it's saying all these negative things like money is bad, building a team is hard, it's so much easier for my upline, I can't do anything right, I'm so fat, I'm not pretty enough, all men suck, whatever it is, right? You say that crap enough times, what happens? You start to believe it, don't you? So put this in your notes. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe whether it's BS or not. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe whether it's BS or not. Have you ever been with your friends over the years? And like, to sound cooler than you actually are, you kind of exaggerate a story a little bit. You know, you just kind of exaggerate the details to get more laughs or more attention. You guys ever done that? I used to do that with my buddies all the time. And then you share the story, you get more laughs, more attention. So you share the same story with more conviction the next time you're around them. Then you do it again, and you do it again. And then you find yourself 5 years into the future sharing this story with them, and you don't even know what part of that story is real or not anymore. You know what I'm talking about? You go, is that even true? Right? You don't even know if it's real. The same thing happens with negative self-talk and self-sabotage. Only instead of it being something fun that you can joke about like a party topic with your friends, it ruins your life. And we go through life believing these BS stories. It creates inner conflict. It changes the way we lead our life and our business. How many of you feel like you're forcing things and you're just stuck in some way? You're forcing things and you're just stuck in some way. It's from your thoughts. So to change this, we need to figure out how to believe in ourselves before the evidence of our business says that we're enough. We have to believe that we're worthy of a big bank account before money's ever coming into it. You have to believe that you're a great leader before your teammates are going to grow. So how do we do that when the evidence of our current life and business is not saying that? Well, you can start the process of this by changing your questions. So put this in your notes. Better questions change your entire life. Better questions will change everything, guys. Your life is a direct reflection of the habitual questions you ask yourself. It's a direct reflection. If you ever faced a point in your life where you're trying to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you never actually believe you can do it, there's a reason. Like, have you ever wanted to believe you can achieve a goal, but you just don't? Like, you do a vision board or a goal setting exercise and you have the mansion, the debt-free sign, the 100K, whatever it is, right? And you got all this stuff up there. Or maybe a goal setting board, and you're looking at it, you're going, that would change everything for me. It would change my entire life. Everything would be different. I could retire my spouse. I could finally be out of debt, whatever the thing is that would change your life. But there's that little voice back here, that little voice that goes, you're never gonna do that. You're never gonna achieve those goals. Like, it's like you already know you're gonna fail before you start. Raise your hand if you know what that feels like, that little voice right there. Okay, we have to change that. And we can't do it all in an hour, but here's the start. So first, what's thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. And if you notice that those questions have turned into statements like you suck, it's because you've been asking negative questions for too long to where you actually believe the statement's true. But it always starts with a question. It always starts with curiosity of the mind. So if you ask yourself bad questions, you get really bad answers. What's an example of that? Why am I so fat? That would be a really bad question. And you get a really bad answer. Or another example would be, why am I so stuck in my business? Horrible question, you get a horrible answer. But if you focus on great questions, you get great answers. What's an example of that? Why am I worthy? Why am I beautiful? Why am I strong? Why can't I do this? Those would be great questions. They lead to great answers. The mistake I made is I thought I just had to work harder. And yeah, you got to work hard at your dream, absolutely. But there comes a point when you're doing the things and nothing's changing. You're like doing the personal growth, but nothing is going on. Ever felt that way? Like you're reading the books, but it's still not happening for you? It's because you need an action plan. You need a way to break through this. And so it's all inner conflict. That's all it comes down to. It comes down to what you're looking for. So let's do an example in real life with you right now, and this will make more sense in a second. Look around the room that you're in right now and count up the number of things you can find that's red, that are red. Ready, go. Look for red, look for red. Vicky's hair can count as red. My shirt can count as red. This pen can count as red. Look for red. Count things that are red. Look for red, look for red, look for red. Keep looking for red, look for red, look for red. Look for red, count things that are red. Look for red, look for red, look for red. Look for red, look for red, look for red. Keep looking for red, look for red, look for red. Look for red, 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 look for red. Awesome. Hold up your hands or type in the chat box. How many things you find that were red? What do we got? What do we got? 5. Amazing. 25. Holy cow. 15. 8. Fantastic. You guys all passed, by the way. You all succeeded. But, but question, how many things did you find that were blue? No idea. Why? Because you weren't looking for blue. But check this out. Look around the room you're in right now and count all the things that you can find that are Beachbody blue. Ready, go. Look for blue. Look for blue. Keep looking for blue. Look for blue. Some of you are staring at me. Look for blue. 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 Count things that are blue. Oh my gosh, where'd that come from? It's everywhere. Look for blue. 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 Keep looking for blue. Look 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 for blue. Keep looking for blue. Look 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 for blue. Hold up your hands or type in the chat box. How many things did we find that were blue this time? Did they just magically appear? Or were they always there and you just weren't looking for them? And how many of you saw green or teal and pretended it was blue just so you would feel successful at this exercise? How many of you did that? Because you know. So what's my point with this, guys? My point, how does this apply to business? Well, when you focus on what you don't want, red, that's doubt, that's skepticism, that's pain, that's why you can't. Those are the negative thoughts. And when you look for it, you never see blue. What's blue? Your dreams, where you want to go, what you can accomplish. You won't see the other. And so if this is what you don't want, these thoughts, by the way, they grow in your mind like weeds, meaning it is natural for your mind to be negative. It's actually how we're wired. If you're ever negative on a regular basis, you're about to find out why. It's literally your brain doing its job. So Jim Rohn has an amazing quote that says, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds grow automatically. What does that mean? That means unless you condition your mind, you train your mind to see blue, what you want, your dreams, the emotions you want to live with, you'll automatically find red. And the reason is because your brain doesn't give a crap if you're happy. Your brain doesn't care if you hit your goals. Your brain doesn't care if you make 10,000 a month or 8,000 a month or hit diamond or 10 star or whatever it is. Your brain doesn't care. It doesn't. Your brain's primary job is to make sure you stay alive. It is a survival mechanism. So at any moment in time, it's looking for what to protect you from, for what could go wrong. So when you think about setting a big dream in your first year, I want to go elite in my first year. Your brain goes, whoa, hold up. That's too risky. You might fail. Let's go for emerald in our first year instead. That's more realistic, without realizing that realism is the fastest traveled road to a mediocre life. You will not get anywhere towards your dreams of being realistic. You won't fail, you just won't thrive. It's so important to understand that. And so, and the reason that our brain thinks this way is because millions of years ago, you weren't worried about sending an invite on Facebook. You weren't worried about that. You weren't worried about going live in a group. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your baby. That's what you were worried about. You were worried about how you were going to eat that day. So we haven't evolved much since then. So we have the same survival, primal feeling of inviting to a business opportunity as we did to a tiger attack. What will they think of me is the same as a tiger attack. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but we live that way. And guess what? This will not change until you program your mind with blue. It's not going to happen on its own. This is why 98% of the world is negative, by the way. Or has negative thoughts more regularly than not, by the way. Not negative people, have negative thoughts. You need to condition your mind to focus on blue. So try this. Ask yourself this right now. Why am I not enough to build my business? Why am I not enough to build my business? Raise your hand if you've ever asked yourself that question, by the way. Why am I not enough to build my business? Ugh. Doesn't taste very good, does it? Doesn't taste very good. How motivated do you feel when you focus on that? Not motivated at all, do you? And even when you read like positive thinking, self-help books, it doesn't change the fact that you have a voice in your head that says you're not enough, right? So I shared a couple of stories a minute ago about where just a couple of my limiting beliefs came from, because I have and had a lot more. What are yours? Type yes. Let's get a big yes fest going when you can relate to one of these. How many of you ask, why isn't my team growing? Why am I stuck? Why can't I get it right? Why is it so hard to lose weight? Why don't people want to join me? Why do I never catch a break? Why is it so much easier for my upline? Will I always be this stuck? How many of you guys are like kind of assholes to yourself like that on a regular basis? Like if you're being totally honest, right? It doesn't feel very good to do that. It doesn't feel very good to ask those red questions. I bet it leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination. There you are looking at your life so frustrated with the results you're getting, knowing that deep down you're meant for so much more. And no matter how much someone tells you they believe in you, it doesn't change the fact that you have the voice in your head that says you can't do this. So how do we break through it? Well, when you set a goal, your dominant beliefs determine if that goal comes true. And setting goals, guys, is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. That's it. That's all it is. And until that language is consistently blue, you're going to be stuck. You're going to find yourself struggling to hit your goals, whether that's weight loss, whether that's marriage goals, whether that's parenting goals, any goal. This is a life coaching call, guys. Every part of life this applies to. And I know this because I lived it. I lived it for 5 years and it hurt. And so if you use the example of why isn't my team growing, like try it again. Ask yourself, why isn't my team growing? And notice, like do it in your mind right now. Why isn't my team growing? Notice that your brain tries to look for an answer. You might correct it, but doesn't your brain try to find an answer? It looks, doesn't it? It looks. That's how insidious negative self-talk really is. So please understand that your entire life can change by asking more empowering questions. Your brain is a Google search engine. It will answer whatever you type into that search bar. But unless you intentionally type in something blue, what will it automatically type in? Something red. And when you type in something red, what do you never see? Your dreams. Are you getting wherever focus goes, energy flows? So many people are not where they want to be in life because they're obsessed with why they're so stuck instead of looking for their dreams on a regular basis. So all you have to do is change what you type into that Google search engine. You're going to get an answer anyways. So you might as well ask it a question that's going to lead to a better life, right? Like that just makes sense. So if you say, why is it so hard to build this business? Or why is it so hard to lose weight? Whatever it is, what does your brain do? It literally looks for reasons why you're not capable. It looks as to why it's hard. So you never find the solutions to your biggest challenges. When you sit down to work, your brain is literally looking for every reason why you can't. So you don't send invites. You sit there in your online office clicking refresh, hoping you magically turn 2-star, right? And that's what happens to people. They refresh their volume, they refresh their business, and they spend time obsessing over top coaches, wondering why they're not as successful as them yet, because they have this belief in their mind that says, I'm not enough, or why am I not enough? And what's crazy is there's amazing people and opportunities. And by the way, first, how many of you guys have totally done that? Refresh your online office to see if more people have come in the last like 30 seconds, right? You know who you are, right? So what's crazy is that there's amazing people and opportunities and solutions that stumble across your life blue every day. But because your software is running on why is it so hard, self-sabotage steps in. You won't even notice the incredible opportunity sitting right in front of you. If your focus is on it's hard to meet people in this business, you will never even think to start a conversation with a woman standing behind you in the grocery store checkout line that has high cholesterol and you could save her life with Shakeology. You wouldn't even think to ask her a single question because this business is hard and I don't know enough people. Do you see that? Or it's so hard to build my coaching business. You won't even think to ask that single dad that lives next door to join your business when he has a little girl and he has no idea how he's going to pay for her college education and you have her freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even think to ask him Because building this business is hard. Do you see the power of this, guys? Opportunities are everywhere. We just need to look for blue. But try this. Why is it so easy to hit Success Club by the end of this weekend? Why is it so easy to hit Success Club by the end of this weekend? Just type that one in real quick. What happens? Don't you look? Don't you look for the answer? And even if you're brand new, you start to think about, what could I do to make this happen? You look for the solution. You go, okay, how many people do I invite over the course of a month? If I did that over the next 3 days, I could hit Success Club by the end of the weekend. You start to focus on the solutions, the people you could reach out to, the sacrifices you could make to do this. Can you imagine how your life would change if you flooded your mind with blue intentionally instead of just expecting life to be different? And here's the key. You don't even need to have the answer. You just need to live in a blue question. Because when you know what you want, the how will always reveal itself. You don't need to know how. You need to know what you want and go after it. That's it. So every problem you face is just an empowering question you haven't asked yourself yet. So your homework coming out of here in 30 minutes for your life and for your business is I want you to write down all the negative stuff you ask yourself all the time, not just for your business, for all of life, marriage, bank account, everything. Write down all the negative, and please do this because so many people will listen to this call and then they were inspired and then tomorrow they go back to old patterns, right? Do this. They write down all the negative questions you ask yourself on a regular basis for all parts of life. Why am I broke? Why is my business not growing? Why am I fat, right? Why does my husband always annoy me? Why are my kids so annoying? Whatever it is. And you're going to write them down, and you're going to take each question and you're going to flip it to its empowering alternative. You're going to turn it into, why is it so easy to insert dream there, right? Or why am I so wealthy? Or why is my business thriving? Or why is it so easy to lead my team? Or why am I such a great leader? And by the way, 2 questions that changed my entire life. Number 1, why am I so kind to myself today? Why am I so kind to myself today? And number 2, why am I worthy of living such an amazing life? Those questions change everything for me because, guys, life gets 100% easier if you're 1% nicer to yourself. 100% easier if you're 1% nicer to yourself. Everything changes. So what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to take these new empowering questions and you're going to flood your mind with them. Second question is, why am I worthy of living such an amazing life? What you're going to do is you're going to flood your mind with this, guys. Flood your mind because this is what I did to change. One of the ways that I changed my life. I knew that my brain worked this way. Now you know that your brain works this way. I knew that if I didn't intentionally program it with blue, what would I automatically find? Automatically find red. If I find red, I don't see blue, right? So I knew that I had to flood my mind with blue. So I want you to flood your mind with it, meaning Post-it notes all over your house, everywhere, in the car, on the toilet seat, whatever you got to do. Get Post-it notes everywhere. My wife probably thought I was crazy because I literally took these empowering questions and I recorded them on my phone and listened to them while I slept at night. Like, disclaimer, don't choke yourself with a headphone cord. But I listened to them while I slept at night. And I would listen to them while I walked the dog, when I was in the shower, any opportunity I could to flood my mind with blue, I took it. Because I knew that I was biologically programmed to be negative. Biologically programmed to be negative. So guys, how many of you, by the way, have kids? You have kids. Raise your hand. Awesome. What would happen if you had an alarm that went off on your phone like 5 minutes before they woke up from a nap or got home from soccer or whatever age they're at, and that alarm said, why is it so easy to be a patient and loving mother today? Just saying. What would happen to their life forever? How would their confidence change? Everything would be different. How many of you guys are in a relationship or married? Raise your hand if you're in a relationship or married. Awesome. What would happen if you had an alarm that went off on your phone 5 minutes before you or your spouse got home that said, why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse again today? What would happen to your relationship? I ask myself that question every day, by the way. And we have a really good relationship. It's really awesome. So guys, I highly recommend doing this. Do you see how your life could change from this topic? If you actually apply it. Is one mindset strategy helpful? Think you can use this? Because I got 2 more for you. And just so you know, I might go like 5 minutes over the hour if that's okay, but I promise it'll be worth it. So number 2, guys, number 2, write this in your notes. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? That means when you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually make that goal so much harder to achieve. And what do I mean by that, by the way? Don't take this to mean that you shouldn't be excited or passionate or get your hopes up about your goals. You should. You should get your hopes up. You should get excited. You should get passionate about it. What I mean is, when your happiness is dependent on a goal, you are making that goal so hard and almost impossible. You're likely not going to hit it. Have you ever found yourself going after a big dream or a big goal, and it's this goal that's been on your mind for a while? And the typical one we see in your business is diamond, right? Or maybe it's 2-star, right? Like I work with hundreds and hundreds of Beachbody coaches, and that's kind of this like elusive thing. Where have you ever noticed that when you set that goal, it's like you work towards it consistently, but it's like it evades you. It's like it's just out of reach, right? It's like it's flirting with you. Can't catch me, can't catch me, can't catch me, right? And like that's what it's doing. It's flirting with you. Why? Because you are attached to your dream instead of committed to your dream. Attach your dream instead of committed to your dream. Dana, number 2 is your problem isn't the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. But that's why, guys, because you're attached to your dream instead of committed to your dream. And what does that mean? It's because this absolutely must happen, and then I can feel fulfilled. Ever done that? Have to get to my goals before I can be happy. You won't be happy either way if you live that way. When you think that way, whether you magically achieve or not, don't you feel horrible all the time? There's always this cloud over your head saying, I should have more, I need to achieve more, my happiness is tied to my success, my worth is tied to my achievement, all these things. And it leads to self-sabotage, compounding negative self-talk. All these voices in your head are amplified, saying you're not good enough. And whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you what? You believe. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you believe. See a common theme here, right? And so you start to believe you can't do this. When you try to build a business this way, how do you even do it? Like, isn't it incredibly intense and overwhelming and stressful to try to solve these problems, right? You can't do it. So you start to accept it as truth. You start to accept that things are just different for you, or that it's harder for me because I don't have a big social media following, or, most people just don't get me, or I can't do this, right? You start to accept that, but it's not true. Remember, it's just a blue question. It's not responsible for your emotional well-being. Huge important note here, and this is the overarching focus of everything I teach my clients in my program. And it's something that if you instill, you're going to have a much easier time getting to success. Ready for it? Business success and money do not cause happiness. Business success and money do not cause happiness unless you're already happy. Happiness causes business success and money. Happiness is the gateway to all of those things. Most people have it backwards, and that is why they never live the life that they want. Because they think that once they have, then they can feel. Bullshit. Once you feel, then you'll have. That's how it goes. You become happy and appreciate your life first, or you will never have the dreams that you want to have. It's happiness and appreciation for the journey and the challenge, meaning being grateful for the pain, being grateful for the failure, being grateful for the trauma. And I'll teach you how to do that in my program. I'll teach you all of that. But that's what needs to happen. That's how you overcome the challenge. Most people don't get that. I didn't. It's why I stayed stuck. For me, it was always, I should be further along. I should have more money. I should have more income. And I was shoulding all over myself, right? That's what it felt like. I was just should. And I was literally pushing away the lesson that would be the key to my freedom, because I didn't think it was okay to be where I am now. How many of you guys feel that way? I should be elsewhere. I should be further. I should be a different rank. When you live that way, guys, you're not going to achieve the next goal. It won't happen. It won't. You need to learn how to love where you are now. I'll teach you, but you need to learn how to love where you are now. Why do you think Shaun T always talks about in his programs, if you want to lose weight, you have to love the body you have now? Why do you think he talks about that? Why would you hate the vessel that's the key to your freedom? It doesn't make sense. Your life now is the key to your freedom. So why hate it? Does that make sense? You don't need to find the answer, because where you are right now is the answer. So please understand that seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Seeing your current bad and what's wrong is the fastest way to never achieve your dreams. So step into the common sense corner for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but whatever you believe is great. But just play ball with me. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, you have person A and person B. And person A is that person that's always complaining, saying they should be further along, they should have more money, they should have more behaved kids, they can't invest in that program, they can't get to the summit because it costs too much. Like, poor me, it's harder for me. And person B is the person that's going through a divorce, but is so grateful because she can become closer to her kids. Person B is the person that just got diagnosed with cancer and is going to live every day with a smile on her face. Person B is the person that when they go outside when it's raining, they smile and they start dancing. Person B is that person that goes outside in their backyard and they see these little bugs flying around. And like, they're amazed by it. And they're like, oh my gosh, if I go outside in the summertime, there's little things called bees and they sting you. They have so much courage. It's incredible. This is amazing, right? That's person B. So if you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's bitching about less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have, including the challenge? Food for thought. And what's awesome about this one skill, guys, is it means you don't have to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. You don't have to work nearly as hard. It actually becomes easier to be successful because instead of slamming down the gas pedal, death gripping the steering wheel, smoke going out your tires, and you're just wondering, why am I not going anywhere? And you're trying everything, you're shifting gears, you're trying it, but you're just stuck. And you see all these other cars flying by you on the highway to success. Susie signed up on Tuesday and she's already 8 million star, right? And you're going, what's going on? Why? This isn't fair. You realize the only thing that's going on, the only thing keeping you stuck is just that your emergency brake is on. You don't have it harder. You just have the brake on. That's all it is. So if you want to go further faster, get out of your own way and release the brake. And again, I'll teach you how to do that. But most people try to climb this big mountain of success. Like, put your dream up there on a mountain for a second. How many of you guys have done that? Like, I'll be happy when, right? Raise your hand if you've done that. I've done that, right? I'll be happy when. Dreams on top of a mountain, saying, I'll be happy when I get to the top. The problem with that is it's the same thing as trying to climb a mountain with a blindfold on. Because if you need to get there now and you're attached and you absolutely must get there now, you're going to step off that trail, you're going to make a beeline for the top, you're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to break an ankle, you're going to die. And even if you magically happen to get to the top, you're not going to see any of the beauty around you because the blindfold's on. So what would happen if you just took that blindfold off and you became committed to getting to the top, super pumped about it, super excited about the summit and what it looks like up there, absolutely pumped up, and committed to loving a hike? How many of you guys have ever gone hiking, by the way? When you go on a hike to a summit or a waterfall hike or whatever you're doing, it's just like a straight walk, right? No, it's not a straight walk. It's twists and turns and ups and downs and peaks and valleys. You're going every which direction. The summit's over there, but you're going that way. Do you ever doubt the trail is leading you where you want to go? Do you ever doubt it? No, you don't doubt the trail that you're on unless you don't know how to follow a map. But my point is that you never doubt the trail you're on when you go hiking because you don't do it. You don't say, I'm going to skip the trail and just go straight up the top. You become committed to hiking and committed to the summit. And when you do that way and you're more relaxed and you're more at peace along the way, you appreciate the wildlife in the distance, the scenery, the weather, all this stuff along the way. And when you get to the top, it's pretty amazing, right? Because you had a great day along the way. So what if that was how you approach business from now on? What if instead of going after the goals just for the outcome or the summit, you do it to enjoy the hike and the summit? What if that's how you went about your goals? Wouldn't you be relaxed, more happy and chill, less hurt by challenges? It becomes much easier to build this thing, doesn't it? So my challenge for you is tonight, make a decision that from now on, you're not going to go after the goals for the goals themselves. You're going to go after these goals for the person you become and the growth you experience along the way and the lives you touch. Make that your objective. Because if that's your objective, whether you're going up or down, if growth is your goal, you always win. Because Let's say you're going downhill, coach quits, return order, drop in ranks, summit's over there, and you're going downhill. You learn something instead of hate something. And when you learn something instead of hate something, you get there faster, so much faster. So think about the sets of emotions that go along with this. When you're attached, like you need to get there now, versus committed. When you're attached and you need to get there now, type in the chat box, what emotions do you feel on a day-to-day basis when you are attached to a dream? Need to get there now. What do you feel on a day-to-day basis? Type them in. What do we got? Hustle mode? Don't you feel overwhelmed? Yes. Stressed, frustrated. What else we got? What else we got? Anxious, discouraged, tired, totally exhausted, right? Just constantly worried, constantly anxious, never feeling like you're enough, anxiety, totally. And then what about when you are committed to your dreams? You're super pumped about the summit and you're pumped about the hike and you're taking breaks when you need to and you're having a good time along the way. What do you feel emotionally on a day-to-day basis? Excited, happy, joyful, what else? What else? Happy, yes. Passionate, yes. Keep them going, guys. What else do we feel? Fulfilled, alive, grateful. Fulfilled, yes. Fulfilled, right? Energetic, totally, right? And so think about these two, pumped, yeah. So think about these two sets of emotions, right? You have attached, stressed, frustrated. Raise your hand if you've been attached lately. It's most of the people on this call, right? Been attached to your dreams, right? Think about those sets of emotions. Then think about the committed emotions. Which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to build a business from, right? Which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to have a great relationship with your spouse from? Which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to be a great parent from? Which of those two sets of emotions are you more likely to be creative from? So if you chill and become committed to the hike and the summit, realize that your happiness isn't dependent on the summit, you actually get to the summit faster. It feels like it's taking a massive step back, but you're taking a massive leap forward. Living this way will make success so much easier, guys. Does this make sense? And I can't get into the whole system of how to do this on this call. I wish I could, but that's what the course is for. But I do have one more tip that I can teach you that will just make living this way so much easier. Do you guys have time for one more? I'm gonna go a little over, but I promise it'll be worth it. This is probably the most powerful one, okay? I call number 3 the secret sauce. The secret sauce. You might know it, and I'm looking for my eye rollers. You might know it as genuine gratitude. Genuine, heartfelt gratitude. How many of you guys, if you're being totally honest with yourself, have a deep, emotional, heartfelt gratitude practice on a day-to-day basis? And by that, I don't mean, by the way, guys, I don't mean complaining about the day all day long and then jotting 3 things in a journal to feel better. That's not gratitude. That's not gratitude. That is rationalizing why it's okay to bitch about the day, right? That's what that is. Now, if you actually pause and feel those things in here when you write them, wonderful. But most people, it's just a checklist item in their morning routine. That's all it is. And if you don't have 5 minutes to be so deeply grateful for your life, you don't have a life. You're missing the point of life, and that's appreciation for your life. And so gratitude, why is it so important? And I guess before that, please understand that gratitude is single-handedly the greatest success tool you will ever use. It's the greatest business tool. It's the greatest marriage tool. It's the greatest parenting tool. It's the greatest everything tool. Gratitude is the cure-all. It helps. Why is that, by the way? Because it is literally impossible to feel pain when you're grateful. Literally impossible. You cannot feel any sort of negative emotion when you're deeply grateful. You can't feel frustration, you can't feel fear, you can't feel panic, you can't feel anxiety, depression, sadness, any of it. It's like trying to be sad and jumping up and down in the mirror naked. You can't do both simultaneously. It doesn't work, right? So it's something where, sorry, cracked myself up with that one. But you can't do both simultaneously. And Alicia, that's wonderful. That's wonderful that you truly love it when you write in your gratitude journal daily. So keep going. If you feel it, keep it up. That's great. It means you're doing it, right? But for a lot of people, it's just grateful for my mom, Grateful for my house. Grateful for my job, right? Move on. But it's so important that it's deep. And I'm going to take you guys through an exercise in about 5 minutes that is probably the deepest feeling of gratitude that you may have ever practiced so far. Maybe not. We'll see. So it's going to be really, 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 really powerful. So, but why is this? Because when you focus on what you're grateful for, or blue, opportunities, things, solutions come to you so much faster because seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Are you seeing how this all goes together, right? So one of the best ways, though, to have deep and genuine gratitude is just to have some perspective. So think about this. You're watching a video right now about mindset from anywhere in the world. You're probably in the US, UK, or Canada, right? But anywhere in the world. And most of you have a safe apartment or house with a lock on the door, windows that open and close, clothes on your back that you get to shop on Amazon and get stuff delivered to your door in like 1 day now, right? Which is insane because they built this airport hub and it's incredible. Or they're building, I don't know, it's insane. And then you have a doctor you can get, treated for medical care, a vet you can take your dog to get treated for hot spots on their arm, or, an amazing family, or you probably have an Apple TV where you can turn on Friends or Breaking Bad or Marie Kondo's Tidying Up or whatever you're into after we hop off this call. You have Zoom on a laptop or a phone where this crazy guy's talking to you. Like all these things we'll take for granted when someone's going to kill themselves in the next 7 minutes. Someone's going to end their own life in the next 7 minutes. When, picture your babies, there is a mother out there whose baby isn't waking up tomorrow. Just imagine what that feels like. There are people out there injecting needles into their arms to cope with pain. There are countries that live in communism. 2/3 of this world live on $900 a year. Can you imagine $900 a year? Not one person on this call has money problems, guys. Not one. Every single person on this call is in the top 1% of the world. You are so accustomed to the miracles happening around you every day. You probably don't even see them as miracles anymore. You don't appreciate how literally everything around you is once a thought or an idea. This Sharpie, this cell phone, this team was once an idea. This team was once an idea that this incredible woman had. That's all it was. It was an idea. That would be cool if, which proves that you have the ability to create miracles anytime you want. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be happy if something happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up to suffer in life. If you can take away anything from this entire talk, it's the following sentence. And it's so important to understand this, live this, bold this. If you adopt this as a belief, which by the way, it's such a simple belief and such a profound belief, you adopt this as a belief, life can change tonight. Ready for it? It's so simple. Nothing has to happen for you to be happy. Nothing needs to happen in order for you to be happy. When you let go of the rules and conditions of the boxes that need to be checked before you can smile, all of a sudden you smile on a regular basis. And guess what? When you're smiling, business gets a lot easier. A lot easier because appreciation comes first. Does that make sense? Because if you live this way, if your happiness is dependent on something else, you could be winning at life and feel like you're losing because you have a scorecard that's all messed up saying, I'll be happy at the next thing. It's not fair because achievement without gratitude is total failure. Achievement without gratitude is total failure. Guys, you're breathing. You're alive. Isn't that enough? Can't that be enough to smile about? Like I said, if you're smiling, business gets easier. A lot of you have these high expectations of your spouse, your kids, your team, your volume, your sales. And when your life conditions, meaning the way life is right now, doesn't match up with how it should be, you get frustrated, right? Like you have these rules of what needs to happen first. You got to let it go. If you trade your expectations for appreciations, your life will change in a single moment. That's a Tony Robbins quote, by the way. If you trade your expectations for appreciations, your life will change in a single moment. Gratitude is one of the ways to do that because your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, condition this into who you are, and the anxiety, the depression, the overwhelm, the fear, the negative self-talk, it's going to go away. And you're going to become excited about every single day. You are talking to someone right now who, and type yes once you feel this is you, what I'm about to say. Type yes once you feel it's you. Where I went through a period of time when I knew what I wanted so bad. And I knew that I was worth so much more than the results I was getting. But I would find myself on the couch feeling bad for myself, that I wasn't where I wanted to be. Having these like bad days, like 4 days a week, wishing it was different. And I was depressed and down. And it was like my laptop was staring at me going, dude, change your life. You have everything you need. But I couldn't get myself to do it. And I just didn't care in the moment. But I felt so much shame and cared so much at the same time. Do you know that feeling? It was like this perfection and guilt loop where I needed to do things so well and have all these amazing results. And when I didn't, I got depressed about it. Then I felt guilty for feeling depressed and I had to be perfect again. It was like this endless loop of struggle that led to depression, sitting on the couch, wanting my life to change, not doing anything about it. And then, not if you understand this part, I was pissed off at myself for being depressed. Like I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could be when I knew I was meant for so much more than what I was getting. And from practicing what I'll teach you in the program, from practicing what I'll teach you, those periods went away. They went away. It didn't happen right away, but they started to gradually go away. It went from 4 times a week to 1 time a week. Then it was 1 time every month, 6 months, year. Now I'm actually this annoyingly happy 99% of the time. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And yes, there are still days once in a blue moon where I get the whole woe is me and down useless feeling that day. Everyone does. We're human, right? But I can get out of it in 3 minutes. Get out of it in 3 minutes. And that's what I'd like to teach you how to do. What I learned from my main mentor, Tony Robbins, is that you can solve any problem in your life in 3 minutes or find direction to a challenging time in 3 minutes using the skill of gratitude. So what I'm about to take you through, I did not create. It's his work, credit where credit's due. But I want to take you through it because it's one of the things that changed my life the most. So get somewhere where you can feel totally emotional, totally vulnerable. Like no distractions. TV is not on, phone is not on, notes aren't even being taken right now. Like you're just where you're in a total space of just, you're away from any distraction. And if you know that from being on video, you're not going to play all out, I highly encourage you to turn your video off. Because this is something that's going to get deeply emotional. It's something that will bring up things that you haven't thought about in a long time. So get somewhere you need to go for that. And if you're not going to play all out in this exercise, it's not going to work and you're going to roll your eyes. So get where you need to go and start thinking about something in your life that stresses you out right now on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 or higher. Think of the thing that stresses you out right now, scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 or higher. And something that you just, maybe it's unfinished business, maybe it's something that you don't know how to solve, a business challenge, a money challenge, maybe it's something where a relationship issue, maybe it's something where maybe it's a health issue. What's the challenge for you that you don't know how to solve, you don't know how to break through? And start to feel the pain of that challenge right now. Start to feel how you haven't gotten ahead and you've been stuck spinning your wheels and it just feels like there's no direction, there's no hope, you just feel like there's no way out. Raise your hand if you have your stressor. Have your stressor? Okay. Shake your body out. Different state than what you're in right now. Focus on your stressor. Shake your body out. Sit up nice and tall. Shoulders back, chest up, eyes closed. Keep them closed. Trust me on this process. Take both your hands and physically put them on your heart. Physically put them there. Just trust me. And as you breathe deep into your heart. Like actually imagine the oxygen flowing up in through your nose, through your heart and back out your mouth. Another one, really big deep breath in your nose, through your heart and back out your mouth. One more time, big deep breath in, through your heart and back out your mouth. Notice how your breath has already calmed your mind. And keep breathing that way through this exercise. And as you're breathing deep, feel the power of your heart for a moment. Feel the strength of it. Feel the beauty of it. Feel the gift of it. Think about what your heart has guided you to do or to be or to give or to share in this life. Take a moment and breathe that into your heart right now and focus on how Your heart beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. As long as it beats, you live. It's the greatest gift you have ever received in your life. So just take a moment and realize you didn't have to buy this heart. You didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this gift of life the moment you were born. As long as it beats, you live. It's the greatest gift you have ever received. So just take a moment and feel so grateful for this heart that's beating in your chest right now. And just appreciate it. And just love it and just cherish it and take that all in and breathe it into your heart. And now, go back to a memory in your life, any memory at all, that you can feel unbelievably deep feelings of gratitude for. So when you had your first baby, is when you said, I do. What's that moment for you? Any moment that you can just feel such deep feelings of gratitude for. And go back to that moment and feel that appreciation for it. But instead of seeing that moment from the outside, like you're looking at a photo album, step into that photo. Relive that memory right now. Like you're right there, seeing through your own eyes. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt then, right now, like it's happening all over again, feeling so grateful, so appreciative, so happy. And just treasure this memory in your heart right now for a moment. And when you feel that and you have that gratitude there, breathe that memory deep into your heart right now. Big deep breath in your nose. Breathing that gratitude into your heart and out your mouth. And now go to a second memory, another memory that you can feel deep feelings of gratitude for. Any moment at all. It could be 10 years ago, it could be today, doesn't matter. What's a moment for you? Step into that moment. Breathe the same way you did then. Hear what you heard then. See what you saw then. Relive it all over again, feeling so deeply grateful. Just take a second and appreciate it, knowing that this feeling is within you whenever you want. It's in your memories. So take a moment and breathe that feeling of appreciation deep into your heart right now. And feel the gratitude of it. And now, go back to a coincidence in your life. A coincidence you can be grateful for. Something that you weren't expecting to happen, but it led to something beautiful that you value, a career, a person, an insight, a life change. What's a coincidence for you? Were you in line at the coffee shop and you met the love of your life? Maybe you didn't mean to get pregnant, but now you have an amazing family. What's that coincidence for you? Maybe you got a message on Facebook and you're building your dreams. What's something you weren't expecting to happen, but it led to something beautiful? And think of everything it led to and why your life is such a gift right now because of that coincidence. Was that actually a coincidence, or were you being guided? Take a moment and realize that life is always happening for you and not to you. Even the problems, guys, they're gifts, because they lead to a more elevated version of you. So take a moment and breathe that coincidence into your heart right now. And when you're there and you feel all that gratitude, start to well it up within you right now. Start to well it up inside of you. See each of those memories again. Feel the gratitude for your heart beating in your chest right now. See that first memory all over again. See that second memory all over again. Relive that coincidence real quick and just treasure each of these things right now. Appreciate it, love it, cherish it, and try to triple the amount of overwhelming gratitude and appreciation that you have for this amazing gift of life right now. Try to triple it and feel so much appreciation. Feel it like radiating out from your heart in every direction. Imagine the energy spreading up through your head, out through your arms, down through your legs, every single direction, just radiating throughout your entire body, circulating through your whole body, feeling appreciative, feeling alive, feeling grateful, and just say thank you. Just say thank you and appreciate this amazing gift of a life, the greatest gift you have ever received. And from this beautiful state, from your heart, not your head, from your heart, go back to that stressor you totally forgot about. Go back to that stressor. And from your heart, ask your heart to complete the following sentence. Don't think, feel. Ready for it? Ask your heart to complete the following sentence. In this stressful situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this stressful situation, all I need to do is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. All I need to do, all I need to remember, all I need to say, all I need to be is blank. And when you feel like you have some sort of direction, some sort of guidance, some sort of next step, open your eyes, come back on camera. How many of you guys felt something powerful from that? How many of you guys felt something real from that? How many of you guys found direction to a challenging time that you didn't know you could find from that? And if you didn't, do it again when no one else is around. And there are other techniques that'll teach you too. But guys, that was the real you. That's who you really are. That's the you that's not dominated by fear. That's the you that can solve any problem in her business. That's who you are. And who you are has one chance in this life. One. You have one chance to bring her out. Most people go through life trying to stay safe, never going for it. You are not that person, because your life could literally end at any moment. You do not control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You were not put here to experience mediocrity. You were meant to feel fully alive every second of every day. And I can teach you how to do that, because remember, appreciation for life comes first. You're exactly where you need to be. When you see life that way, amazing things happen really, really quickly. Instead of just knowing that, guys, all you need to do is instill this into who you are. And when you do, game over. You began that process, but can you imagine how the world would change if that was how you conducted business? If that's how you conducted your marriage, your parenting, everything? What if that was your default setting? What if that's the way you lived instead of just got motivated by on one call one time? This, guys, is my default state. And if it's okay with you and it's something that you truly feel could benefit your life, I'd love to give you guys an opportunity to teach you how to make this your default state. So just for a couple minutes, and by the way, if you're not interested, that's totally cool. But I have an opportunity for you guys to learn how to do it. This was so top level. We barely scratched the surface. Barely scratched the surface. It goes so much deeper. It goes into forgiveness. It goes into letting go of past hurts. It goes into letting go of trauma, pain. It goes into how you're conducting your day. It goes into attachment. There's so much more to it. There's so much more to this piece. Like I said, top level tonight. But if you've ever been pushing so hard for a goal and it feels like it's getting further and further away, or it seems so much easier for other people, and you just keep hearing, do the things, you have the skills to do, or the tools to do it, but you're trying and you're doing the books, and you're reading, you're making a genuine effort, but it's not working for you, it's inner conflict. That is what is stopping you, inner conflict. Your life will change when you resolve your inner conflicts. You ever have those days where some days you're sending 200 invites, other days you can't get off the couch, right? Like we talked about just a couple of minutes ago, the example that I gave about my life before, that's what we're gonna break through. If that is something that you're challenged by and you can't figure out what's stopping you from success, but more importantly, happiness, I've created a program that will teach you how to break through all of it, and I mean all of it. There's over 500 Beachbody coaches in this program, guys. Created by a former Beachbody coach for coaches. It is literally for the challenges you face in your business. It's how I built a successful network marketing business, how you can too. The reason you feel stuck, like I said, is inner conflict, negative self-talk, lack of beliefs, or lack of belief, limiting beliefs, lack of worth, all those things keeping you stuck. You hear the cliches, change your thinking, change your life. This teaches you how to do it, how to be happy, and how to actually attract success instead of repel it. And because your leader is amazing, we have a 50% discount on this program for you guys tonight. And that's for a payment plan and full pay option available. So even if things are tight right now, there's a way to make it work. And by the way, if things are tight, totally respect it. I lived it. But investing in my growth when things were tight is how they became untight. Right? Whether it's through me or through someone you trust more. Either way, that's cool. But guys, that's why I have a 90-day guarantee on this program. 90-day guarantee in this program where you can literally finish it. And if it's not for you, send it back. All good. You guys know who Jen Richardson is, by the way? 15-star Diamond Coach Million Club member. She says, and I quote, Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business. You guys know who Micah Folsom is? Double 15-star Diamond Coach. She says, and I quote, if you're doing all the things and you're still not successful, or even if you're successful but you're just not happy, you can't afford not to invest in this program. This course rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being who you're meant to be. It gets to the bottom of it. And I can go on and on with testimonials. It's endorsed by the top leaders in your company. But I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you the power of this. It is not a business training. It's not something where I'm going to teach you how to invite or how to use Instagram stories. That doesn't work until you fix what's going on up here, and especially in here. This gets to the core of what's stopping you, how to finally believe in yourself without having to fake it, and how to live every day with a genuine smile on your face. And I will not disappear on you. I am in there every single day. Just like we talked about, business, success, and money do not create happiness. Happiness and appreciation is what creates business, success, and money. And this is the only course I've ever seen in my life that teaches you how to do it. It's how I went from stuck on the couch, wanting my life to change, to where I am now. It is 7 years of growth packed together, so you don't need to wait that long. So if you felt something real, guys, if you've been living in a memory that says you're not enough, or if you're spinning your wheels, doing all the right things, but it's just not working, I lived it. And I can teach you how to break through it. That is a promise. So if you'd like to work together, all you have to do is to claim that 50% discount is head to bradbizjack.com/teamcall. Make sure you go through that link, because the other link is full price. That one's 50% off. bradbizjack.com/teamcall. There is Vicki has the link and the image that will get posted on your page right after we get off of here. And what I'm going to do, guys, the reason there's an opt-in page, by the way, when you opt into it, you go to the page, there's an opt-in page. It keeps track of how many people opt in to learn about the program. And then once I see how many people go through and actually enroll in the course, if it's more than 10, I actually give even more money back, so the discount becomes higher than 50%. But either way, everyone will enroll at 50% off. But guys, it's truly been a privilege to serve you tonight. I hope you got a lot out of this. I really hope you choose to enroll in Appreciation Academy. It is truly a life-changing program. Take advantage of that 90-day guarantee, guys. So thank you so much for the privilege of being here. Vicki, I will turn it back to you, my friend. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, Brad, can we clone you and have you in each of our homes? Holy shit. Okay, first off, I'm about to get colorful. I heard you use colorful language, so I feel you could vibe with me. But everything you said, I talk to my coaches all the time, and I talk to coaches on other teams, and it seems like there's this flow, this constant flow of negative energy, whatever it is lately, what's the word? Retrograde, whatever, Mercury retrograde, or the universe, or, everyone blames something on this negative energy, this toxicity, whether it's the relationships or the trauma from their past, or their upline not supporting them, or, success partners bailing on them, or they're recruiting all the wrong people, or whatever it is. And they hang on to this to where it's almost like they're allowing them to be in the place that they are. And like you said, you could come on here, I could get on a one-on-one call with them, and I can motivate them until I'm blue in the face. But it doesn't matter, because it's what matters, what happens after the call, what happens after this call. And I think appreciation and gratitude and constantly working on your mindset is the most important thing that a person can do for their entire life, but the thing that gets put on the back burner the most. And so the fact that you brought this call to us, you brought this opportunity to us, you're giving us freaking 50% at least off of your program. I'm so F-bomb excited about this. I have little ears. He's going to charge me $1 for every time I cuss, so I can't go broke tonight. But I am so freaking excited. I'm excited to share this recording with everybody, because I know a lot more people are going to want to watch this. I'm going to have to rewatch this recording, because my hand literally is cramping from writing all the notes. Oh my gosh, Brad, I freaking love you. You are fan-freaking-tastic. I'm your biggest fan. Holy moly. That's all I got to say. I appreciate you so much.
You are incredible, and just thank you for welcoming me with open arms. I'm so excited to keep serving.
Of course. Can we do a photo with you real quick? Awesome. I know even a few people popped off. I understand East Coast time. It's late, but thank you guys that are East Coasters for still hanging on. But okay, we're going to do a team photo real quick. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for hopping on a Thursday night away from your families, away from your business, away from all y'all whatever you're doing, watching whatever TV shows, Netflix, whatever. Go enjoy the rest of your night. And remember, this is something that could benefit not just your business, you guys, but your life in general. And you all deserve to be happy and joyful and be present and to appreciate life in general. You know, like he hit on some tough parts, and I know Alicia and Dana and like I'm sure a bunch of others had tears in their eyes because I was like I couldn't even swallow for a moment. I was like, damn, Brad hit us hard. Like he was gut checking us. But like, I honestly think that's what we needed. So Brad, we appreciate you so much. Speaking of appreciation, we appreciate you so much. So thank you so much for this. Bye guys. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.